Let's try to solve another Leetcode problem. 1094 carpooling. So the problem is that we are giving a trips array, and for this array we have a starting point, and we also have an ending point. So the starting point means at this position we're gonna pick up some people, and the capacity is 2. Yeah, and we can pick up 2 people at position 1 until we go to position 5, and we're gonna drop off those 2 people. So this is the definition of the problem. Yeah. Now let's start to try to simulate the problem. So this is for position 1, and here this is position 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at position 5 we're gonna drop these people. So here I'll give a position 5. Yeah, so this means from position 1 to position 5. I mean, here at position 1 we have 2 people, and position 2 we still have 2 people, and position 3 and 4 we also have 2 people. But at 5 we're gonna drop those 2 people, so there are gonna be 0 people. Now we're gonna try to check another one. So because during the trip, the driver can pick up other people. So while the driver goes to another position 3, so he will pick up another 3 people. So it means here we're gonna have a 3, 3, and 3 until it goes to position 7. So this is a 6, and this is a 7. So at position 6, so it's gonna be 3 people, because here is still 0, and here is still 0, and here is 0, because at position 3 the driver will drop off those 3 people. So here becomes 0. Now we get the final result. So it's gonna be the sum up of all the values. So it is 2, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, and 0 in the array. So what is the maximum value? So the maximum value is 5, as we can see, this is 5. But the capacity is only 4. This means it exceeds the capacity. It means it is not possible, so we're gonna return a false. So if it isn't possible, maybe the maximum value is just 4. So in this way, we're gonna return a true. Yeah. So this is the simulation of the problem. As you can see, so time complexity gonna be dependent on the trips. Yeah, definitely for each of the trip. So for example, from this 1 to 5, we're gonna sum up all the values for this 2. From 3 to 7, we're gonna sum up all those values from 3 to 7. As we can see from the time complexity, if each of the range we're gonna set it as n, and for each of the query, for each of the trip, we're gonna check n values. So how many trips? Maybe there's m trips. So the time complexity gonna be n times m. Yeah, as we can see, this is gonna be a huge value if this n is 1000 and m is also 1000. So it's gonna be 10 to the power of 6. So this is gonna be a big value. So let's start to check how many trips do we have. 1000, and each of them from 2, it's gonna also be 1000. So it's gonna be 10 to the power of 6. So this is gonna be a really big value. But we don't want to solve it like that, because this is just brute force. Is there some clever ways to solve the problem? Yes, there is. And the clever way is that we just needed to use 10 to the power of 3 times complexity to solve the problem. Basically, it's gonna be O m plus n. As we can see that the time complexity is gonna be bounded to 10 to the power of 3. Basically, it is O(n) or O(m). Yeah. But how can we solve it like that? Now let's just simulate the problem again. So we have all those positions, but we don't need to plus all the values like from 1 to 5 and drop it off. But we can simulate like that. Let's just simulate like this way. So we still have the first position 1 and the last position 5. But we don't need to plus each one of the value. We just need to plus the first position, it is 1. We're gonna plus a 2. But for the last position, we're gonna minus a 2. So what is the benefit of this? Yeah, because this is the benefit of that is we don't need to plus all the values. It can save the time. We just need to check 2 points for each of the query, for each of the trip. So for example, for the first trip, we just at position 1 we plus a 2, at position 5 we minus a 2. But what is the prefix sum of all those values? As we can see, at position 2, 3, 4, so this is a 2, 3, and 4. So what is the values? So the prefix sum going to be 2, 2, 2, here going to be 0. So what is the final result? As we can see, it's also the same. It's like at this presence we plus a 2, at this presence we minus a 0. So what about there are more values like here and here? Yeah, so if there are more values, it's going to be the same because this is 6 and this is 7. So at presence 3, we're going to plus value 3. At presence 7, we're going to minus 3. So what about this way? So currently here, at position 3, so it's going to be 5. At position 4, it's also going to be 5 because 2 plus 3 is going to be 5. At position 5, let's just check because here is 0 and we have 3, so 0 plus 3, so it's going to be 3. So at position 6, before that here is 0, but here we plus a 3. Yeah, it's also 3. But finally, the final position is going to be 3 minus 3, it's going to be 0. Yeah, as we can see from the final array, it's also the same 2, 2, 5, 5, 3, 3, 0. What is the maximum value? It is 5. So if this is more than the capacity 4, it means it's going to be false. Otherwise, it's going to be true. Now let's try to solve it like that. So we're going to prepare f function. So f function basically it is one array. It's like a 1D array, one-dimensional array. Basically, we're gonna use this one as the base of the prefix sum. So we're gonna set it to 0 and to times 1001 because the maximum value gonna be 1000. Yeah, and we're gonna use this 1000 as the array is 0 indexed. So we're gonna times 1001. Now we just need to check the capacity, start, and add position for the trips. So according to our calculation, at the start we want to plus equal to the capacity. At the add position, we're gonna minus equal to the capacity. And then we're gonna check the prefix sum. So the prefix is gonna be the list accumulate of the f. And yeah, that's just it. And we just need to check the maximum of prefix sum. It should be less than and equal to the capacity. If it is more than, so it's going to be false. Now let me just run it to check. I think something wrong. It's not trips, it is trips. Yeah, now let me just run it and submit it to check if it works. Yeah, as you can see, it works. And the time complexity is O(n plus n). And this is just the capacity. It can be 1000 from 2. Yeah, and for this one, this is just the prefix of this f, and this is the length of the trips. So the time complexity gonna be O(n plus n). So we reduced half. Yeah, we reduced. So from before, that is a polynomial time complexity. It is like that. Now our capacity becomes linear, so this is why we use the difference array method to solve such problem. Thank you for watching. See you next time.